After a disappointing season, Kevin Willard and Maryland look to bounce back this year. I'm going to break down some of the film on both offensive and defensive side of what they could try and run this year. So a lot of what Maryland was able to do successfully on offense last year revolved around Jahmir Young being able to create. Maryland really struggled on the offensive end, specifically shooting the ball, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But go through a quick play of just last year of what their offense kind of was a lot. So notice the shot clock right here, about 10 seconds left, 9 seconds left. A lot of kind of standing around, and then eventually it's going to flow into a Jahmir Young pick and roll. And so with Jahmir Young being as dynamic as he was able to get to the pull-up, get downhill, or create for others. This one right here does a great job of splitting the defense and then allowing himself to get all the way to the rim. But now with Jahmir Young not having any more eligibility, a lot of, I think, these pick and roll and just really offensive looks should go to incoming transfer Jacoby Gillespie. So he's going to be able to come in and be a guy that can create out of pick and roll, be dynamic, get downhill, but also has a good perimeter shot. We're going to look through a play here. This is going to be him with the ball. And so it's going to be an empty-sided pick and roll with nobody in this corner right here. And Gillespie can just kind of he can do a little bit of everything. He can facilitate for others. He can get to the pull-up. He finished pretty well at the rim. And even though he's a little bit of a smaller guard, he still just has good finishing ability, being able to kind of have good balance and being able to still get off good looks like he does right there. As we go into next season, I think maybe one of the biggest question marks, X factors, whatever you want to describe it as, going into the season is what does Deshaun Harris-Smith look like in year two? Last year came in very highly ranked freshman and just didn't quite have the season that most were expecting, but the talent is there, the Big Ten physicality is there. Can he just put it together in year two? And part of it's going to be pick and roll. He's going to need to be able to create for himself. The jumper's obviously going to have to come along, and we will talk about that coming up shortly. But being able to create for himself, first and foremost, getting downhill. That's probably the biggest strength to his game, should be his ability to get downhill and finish near the rim, like he's going to do here. So pick and roll, going to be drop coverage from IU. And so now, there was a good hesitation right there. He was thinking about trying to throw this pocket pass, but the hesitation forces Ware to kind of step back to Reese, keeps Cupps on his back, and now he's able to go up and finish at the rim. Now, the bigger thing, obviously, though, with the offense last season was the really, really poor perimeter shooting. They were one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the country last year, and sometimes that led into kind of there not being a ton of spacing at all for Maryland, just not really having room to operate at all. We're going to look at a play here. So ball's going to get swung, 10 seconds left on the shot clock, to Young. And now he does a good job attacking closeout, but look where Rutgers is at. I mean, there's 3 to 4 guys right here kind of helping on the drive or the primary pass away. Another guy dug in. And so Maryland, they didn't have a difficulty creating open shots. They actually had one of the highest rates in terms of open catch and shoot threes compared to contested in the country. But there's a reason that they were open. Rutgers is fine putting 5 guys in the paints, and if Maryland wants to take a 3, Rutgers is going to be fine with that, and it's just going to be whether Maryland can kind of knock down these shots this year or not. Maryland, I think, does have some help coming in terms of perimeter shooting. They had Chance Stevens last year who suffered a season-ending injury, so he wasn't able to play. But they also have incoming transfer Selton Miguel from South Florida, who shot really well from 3 last year, fits really well in defensively, and I think could end up getting a ton of minutes. So this is going to be him in the corner right here. And just kind of notice, okay, so high pick and roll right here. Their big's going to slip, but Miguel's just going to be kind of spaced out in the corner. And he does a good job here. He's going to be lifting up a bit to give his point guard a release. And so now it's his defender, who is right here. Once he comes in, then the shot's going to open up. So like Maryland last year, right? Against Maryland last year, there's a lot of guys in the paint. Doesn't mean it's going to necessarily happen if Maryland gets respected as shooters, but stuff like that, now a kick out, and you're throwing it out to a guy who knocked down a lot of threes last season. Another guy that I previously just mentioned is Chance Stevens, and he didn't play last season due to an injury, but the year prior at Loyola Marymount was just an absolute flamethrower from 3. You can run him off movement, you can space him out on the perimeter, and so they're going to look at an example here. So high pick and roll, just like I think Maryland's going to use a lot to start a lot of their actions and create for others, because the pick and roll can now allow people to get downhill, which should open up opportunities elsewhere. This is going to be Chance Stevens right here. He's going to be running baseline and then curling out. I mean, defender's going to be already a step late because of this kind of back cut. And now he's going to keep doing a good job of keep moving up, making sure that defender can't get to him. So now catch and shoot, fire from 3, and he knocked down a lot of them. The other aspect of the pick and roll, though, beyond just being able to get downhill and create your own shot or get a kick out three, is what is Julian Reese able to do on the roll? He kind of struggled last year, especially around the rim, just being able to finish, but there should be opportunity for him to keep improving and keep getting more chances at these roll looks. So high pick and roll here, nobody in the strong side corner. Reese does a good job screening. Now Penn State's going to blitz and put 2 on the ball, which means Reese has to be able to catch this on the roll. And what I like about Reese is he can do that. So now he can catch from 15 right here and go to work. He doesn't have to be somebody that you have to lob to near the rim. And so more looks like this I think could be coming, where he catches here. Okay, now I'm going to drive. This is also just a really good take. I mean, Penn State is there defensively, and Maryland's going to need more of this. Reese just being able to go and create a bucket for himself like that. Last year, Maryland was in the 83rd percentile in terms of post-up usage, but they were only in the 15th percentile of efficiency. Julian Reese is going to be a big part of that. He's going to have to continue to just develop and improve and get back to what we know Julian Reese can do, but also having more spacing along the perimeter probably is going to be able to be a big beneficial to him as well. You're going to see here, pick and roll, and it's going to set up a post up here as the ball gets to Reese down low on the block. And Reese absolutely can just go one-on-one against anybody and go get a bucket. And that's what he's going to have to do here. Really good spin move, getting back here. Tough angle with the layup, but he has that ability to him of just being a go-to guy. And I think at times it wasn't consistent last year, but now with another year, potentially better spacing, there should be a big improvement for Reese. Incoming freshman Derek Queen is also going to play a big part in terms of post-ups, pick and rolls, things like that. We're going to look at a post-up here from him from high school. And he's not necessarily somebody that consistently is going to like have a go-to move in the post, but he's a big body, he moves super well, and can just kind of bury guys down low. And that's what he's looking to do right here. You can see he already has his guy positioned way in the paint, and there's a lot of spacing around him too. And so I think it's going to be interesting to see what Maryland does balancing the spacing between Queen and Reese. But two very, very, very good players. You're going to have to play them both. Queen right here just able to catch, go up, get the dunk, and he's going to bring that to Maryland. I think a big aspect that's going to allow the Queen-Reese combo to work is Derek Queen is one of probably the most gifted big man passers in the conference, maybe the country, definitely in the freshman class. Like, just his passing ability is going to be able to open up opportunities, whether it be high-low, whether it be Reese posting up, Queen is running stuff at the top of the key. There's just definitely opportunities. So you're going to see here, they're playing against the zone. This is going to be Queen right here. Queen's going to be kind of in the middle, just looking to get the ball, and these is kind of looks I expect to see between the two, where Queen's going to catch it kind of either high post or up at the top of the key. This could be Reese, in theory, kind of trying to seal down low or in one of the dunker spots right here, just looking for a high-low look. And that's exactly what happens. I mean, that's a really good bounce pass from Queen, being able to fire it in quickly through the defense, allow the guy to go up and score. Now, moving to the defensive side of the ball, where Maryland has had success the past couple seasons under Kevin Willard, he's shown he's going to do a few things, and one of them is limit three-point attempts. They were 13th in the country in defensive three-point attempt rate, and they just do a very good job of limiting the perimeter. That's kind of their identity. They have a lot of guards that just move really well, can be physical out there. And so you're going to see, as we're going through this play, notice 20 seconds now on the shot clock. Ball is not moved inside the three-point line, so now look where this screen's being set at. This is being set, 5 feet above the three-point line. Maryland wants to try to push you out and just not allow things, and then eventually funnel you into kind of the mid-range area. And so now here, Deshaun Harris-Smith, great defender, able to stay in front. Again, 13 seconds, ball is just not gone downhill at all. Really, here's the first time it gets inside the three-point line with 10 seconds left. You can see a bunch of help here, but what allows Maryland to do that is they have help, but then they have guards that can get back. And so now they're able to kind of switch here. They move so well defensively. And now deflection here, and you're going to see a hard closeout. And this is kind of the finishing touch, is very hard closeout. And they're going to sell out on this, forcing you to take a pull-up rather than a clean-looking three. Maryland also really wants to slow the game down defensively and just eventually force ISOs. They're very good at that. They were one of the highest kind of ISO rates defensively in the country last season. Ball screen right here, Deshaun Harris-Smith ices, so forces to the sideline. Good job. Gets back through. Again, keeping everything on the perimeter is the theme. You can see on that drive right there, there's going to be a stunt here from Harris-Smith. Again, they're trusting that they can recover if needed. And so now with 15 seconds left, Iowa has to kind of figure out what to do. Good job over here just staying with this. Going to be another high ball screen. it's going to be a ghost. Young stays with. And now with 8 seconds left, it's going to be turning into an ISO. And this is what Maryland wants. They want you to take a ton of time, and now you have to go try and create a shot you're not used to doing. In this one, he just kind of has to throw up a heave. They miss, and Maryland's going to get to go the other way. Maryland also is known for running a good amount of press or a good amount of zone defense as well. Sometimes the press falls back into the zone. They also do try to just force turnovers with the press. And we'll look at that here. They'll run often a 2-2-1, so 2 guards here, 2 wings, and then they have a big kind of back over here. And they're just looking to trap. Now, sometimes it's super aggressive, sometimes it's not. But on this one right here, you're going to see them both playing up high. That's pretty common. They're going to kind of try to disguise it usually as like, hey, I'm falling back. And then they're going to try to jump. And now they're going to jump. Now, since there's only really one ball handler, everybody else has kind of moved down. That's when they want to try to attack, force teams to make bad passes like this. They're in position to get in the way. And now they can get out and run the other way. So we're going to look at an example of the zone here. Moving back from the press, right? They're going to be in the press. They're going to try some things, but Northwestern, I mean, this is another hard trap. Northwestern's able to get out of it. Okay. But one thing that it does is it takes off time. So now Northwestern's not even thinking of starting an action until 20 seconds left on the shot clock. Maryland's in zone. And then the other thing that happens is right about now, with like 15-ish seconds left on the shot clock, Maryland will morph from a zone to man coverage. And so you're going to see here, they're going to kind of point out to where they need to be, match up, and find their guy. And now, basically, that's what they want to do is just waste time. So now, Northwestern, you almost have to wait until Maryland goes man to really run something. Now they have 12 seconds left. Okay, and now it's like we have to figure out what we want to do. It limits the number of actions you can run offensively. And now it's, again, turning into kind of an ISO. Defense is there, able to cover, and just really good defense overall. Another example of it defensively, and I think they could go to this a lot, the press, similar thing to last time, right? Even if it doesn't force a turnover, Wisconsin crosses now with 22 seconds left on the shot clock, and let's see how long it takes them to try to run something. So now, balls are going to get thrown to the top of the key with 17 seconds left. You can see they're in a zone, but then eventually, again, it'll eventually kind of form into the man coverage. They're going to switch here, and so now they're all matched up. Guard on guard, guard on guard, wings, big, everything's matched up. And now they can play man-to-man defense with 11 seconds left. So 10 seconds left on the shot clock, 20 seconds have passed for this possession, and Wisconsin has made like 3 passes along the perimeter, and that's it. And that's all Maryland wants to do. Now with 8 seconds left, they're just buying that, hey, we have the perimeter guys to be able to stop what we need to. Force tough shots, you almost force a turnover there, and then you force a sidestep 3 as the shot clock is winding down. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe, and click here for even more Maryland basketball preview content.